Hello, new Sandy employees. Welcome aboard. We are going to go over the Sandy City Employee Handbook for non-benefited employees for the fiscal year 2019-2020. If you have any questions, please feel free to discuss it with your supervisor, or you're welcome to contact a member of Human Resources. Each member or each employee should have received a copy of the Employee Handbook. So as you go through the Employee Handbook, if you'll go through as we go along, you'll see the table of contents that lets you know all that is in the Employee Handbook. Then we want to welcome you to Sandy City. This explains a little bit about what the Employee Handbook is, and that we want you to know that we expect all of our employees to treat each other with respect, and to understand that this Employee Handbook is not a contract, but we are making sure that you're aware of what city policies are and what is expected of our employees, as well as to let you know the benefits of working with Sandy City. So we have adopted a new mission and new values to Sandy City, and we expect our employees to exhibit these values to each other as well as to the public they serve. So the acronym is ASPIRE, which stands for Accountability, Safety and Security, People-Focused, Integrity, Respect, and Excellence. Sandy City is an equal employment opportunity employer, and we do not discriminate based on the protected classes of race, color, religion, sex, pregnancy, childbirth or pregnancy-related conditions, national origin, age, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, genetics, protected veteran status, or any other protected class that's applicable to federal, state, or local employment laws. This includes sexual harassment or any other harassment, and you will be going through a sexual harassment video that explains how to recognize sexual harassment and how to avoid being the person being accused of sexual harassment, or if you feel that you've been a victim, how to handle that. But in Sandy City, we do have a complaint procedure. You'll see the green pamphlet that all of you should have received. This goes through what that complaint procedure is. So we encourage you that if you feel that you have been a victim of harassment, that you go and talk to your supervisor or a member of Human Resources, the city attorney's office, or the mayor's office. And so if you don't feel comfortable talking to your supervisor, please feel free to contact Human Resources so that we can help you through that complaint procedure. If you do come forward in a harassment suit, then we will do all that we can to protect you in that. And anyone that's asked to participate in investigation is expected to participate. All right, so we go through and we talk about the medical examinations that could be required for you, and then we provide information on where to go if you need to have a medical exam required for your job. In terms of employment of relatives, this just goes through what the policy is in terms of employment of relatives. And then we have a list of what is defined under the city policy as relative, so that if you have any questions about employment of relatives, we do allow employment of relatives at the city. It's just that your direct supervisor cannot be a relative of one of these relations. Next, personnel files. Every employee, benefited and non-benefited, has a personnel file in Human Resources. It is held in a locked file room that only members of Human Resources has access to. If at any time you want to be able to look at your personnel file, you are welcome to come to Human Resources. We do have a log that you're required to sign in order to be able to look at that, just so that we're keeping it for record-keeping purposes. But we just want to make sure that you are aware that we do have personnel files with your file included in that. Okay, with termination of employment, if you desire to terminate your employment with Sandy City, we just ask that you give us 2 weeks notice. So if you could please just make sure that it's in writing to your supervisor or your department head, we would appreciate it. If you do not show up to work, it could be considered job abandonment. So please make sure that if for some reason you will not be able to make it to work when you are scheduled to, that you contact your supervisor so that we do not think that you have abandoned your job. Okay, these are the compensation policies. So we just have it broken out, the Sandy City employment and all of our classification of workers. And so this just breaks all of the different classifications down for you from there. And then with the regular pay procedures, so we pay every other Friday. So we have a list of all of your pay days that are listed right there. And so that's important that you recognize that. So, and then for part-time non-benefited employees, if you work more than 5 hours or 5 hours or more, then we want to make sure that you're getting a 30-minute unpaid lunch break. So this is just important that you're paying attention to if you work more than 5 hours or 5 hours or more, that you're getting that 30-minute unpaid lunch break. So we go into explain about rest breaks, lactation breaks, and then, so this is just for your information. Recording hours, make sure that you're being honest in your recording of your hours, and your supervisor should show you how to record your hours onto your timesheet or into the employee portal. All right, so next on page 10, this is a sample copy of what a pay stub looks like. And we have just wanted to make sure everybody understands what all of the different boxes mean on your pay stub. So you will be able to access your pay stubs electronically, which is discussed in this orientation. So we want to just make sure when you get your first pay stub, feel free to refer to this page so that you can understand what all of the different boxes mean. Okay, so for overtime pay procedures, if you work over 40 hours in a work week, you are eligible for overtime pay. So we want to make sure that you are aware of that. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact your supervisor or a member of HR. Okay, so with salary programs, we just want to make sure that everyone understands that we try to stay competitive with the other cities when looking at salaries, and that we every year look at different positions and what the other cities are paying as well. So we want to make sure that you understand that we do a classification process for our budget each year, looking at different positions and what the pay range should be. All right, so here is our holiday and vacation schedule. This may or may not apply to you depending on your position, but we have a list of what all of the holidays are for the coming year through January of 2021. So we want to make sure that you're aware of that. The sick leave and attendance policies, generally for seasonal and part-time benefited employees, you do not receive sick leave or short-term medical leave. So the main thing is that you notify your supervisor as soon as possible if you are going to be sick, so that they can try and make accommodations for that. Family and medical leave. So to be eligible for family medical leave, you must have been with Sandy City for at least a year and have worked for the city for a minimum of 1,250 hours. And then you are eligible for up to 12 weeks of leave per year. So if this is a category that you fall into, then please feel free to contact a member of Human Resources if you need to apply for family medical leave. We're happy to help you with that. This goes into more information about different types of leave and more details about family medical leave. This goes into jury duty and witness leave. Please feel free to refer to all of this if that is something that applies to you, or you're welcome to call a member of Human Resources as well. So we do not pay into Social Security at Sandy City. So we just want to make sure all of you are aware of that. There is a form that you will need to sign that states that you are aware of that. And with the retirement plans, since we do not go into Social Security, we have eligible all non-benefited employees are given a 457 plan where the city will contribute 7.5% into your 457 in place of that. So if you have any questions about that, please feel free to contact a member of Human Resources. Another program that we have available to all employees is our Employee Assistance Program. This gives any employee an opportunity to be able to talk to a counselor free of charge. And we really recommend employees to take advantage of this. This is kept confidential, and it has the address. They're located at the Jordan Commons building, and you can just feel free to contact them. We are not ever given the information of who uses this service. Workers' compensation. If you are injured on the job, you should immediately inform your supervisor and let them know that you have been injured. And so you are eligible for workers' compensation if that happens. So this goes into detail about what workers' compensation is. You are eligible to up to 2/3 of your salary if this does happen. So we just want to make sure that you are aware of that. But the main thing is, if you are injured on the job, you are to make sure that you contact your supervisor immediately so that we can get you medical treatment and get the necessary paperwork filled out. This is a list of all of the medical providers for you to go to if you are injured on the job. We have a variety of places for you to go to, and you can discuss with your supervisor which location is best for you to go to. We also have an on-site health clinic, which is the Scope Clinic. You'll receive a form of that as well. And this is free to all employees, whether you're benefited or you're non-benefited, as well as any member of your family that lives in your home. So the clinic is located in Sandy City Hall on the main level, and the entrance is on the north side of City Hall. And you are able to get basic medical care there for $34 for an office visit. This is an excellent benefit for employees, so we want to make sure that you're aware of that. So please take note of the flyer that you will be receiving today. This just goes into more about what services is available at our Scope Clinic. So if you have questions on what you're able to get services for at our on-site clinic, this goes into more detail.